Welcome to I Heart Geek. And welcome to the penultimate episode.
He just likes to use that word.
It is.
Yeah, he does.
It's my $20 word.
Yeah, $20 word. I like it.
What is it? Moon Knight for I Heart Geek. We're doing something a little different on this. We're not really covering a scene by scene because this whole thing was a scene and I wanted to cry.
Brutal.
And then there's this other part that came and then I wanted to cry.
So brutal.
And then I wanted to cry.
How about that one part? Where
we
can
move
down the show, as it goes if you want. Do freestyle, whatever you want.
Just cry all the way down.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm Dub. I'm here with Kevin. I'm here with Tyler. We're here with Courtney. Now, I saw online people are saying this is the best, not only the best episode of Moon Knight I've ever seen, it was the best episode of TV I've ever seen, and I think they're full of crap. I think this was good. It was good, but it wasn't Moon Knight anymore. It felt like just they pulled you out of this amazing show that we've all been in love with, and then they just start to beat you over the head continuously.
Yeah.
Emotion.
I agree that emotional damage. I agree that they do beat you over the head with it, but that is they beat you and they hurt your emotions and it's all crazy. But is that not the very essence of Moon Knight?
Yeah.
So there you go.
But it hasn't been what we've had. It hasn't been what we've all fallen in love with on this show.
Yeah.
If
a little
that
bit of
makes
mystery,
sense.
a little bit of adventure.
But it's a part. It's a part of like his life, DID. I mean, you don't get DID with just a happy-go-lucky life. And this was
exactly
the absolute cojones to do his origin story on the 5th episode.
Yeah,
exactly.
And it was so dark. This would not have fit in the first episode.
No.
That's I completely agree with Kevin. Yeah, I agree with Kevin. This was a brilliant way of getting us to learn who he is.
That's phase 4 for you, man. Emotional damage.
Let's hit this right off the bat. As far as everything's been announced, there is not going to be a second season of this.
It
could be lying.
Yeah.
They could be lying.
Well, no, they haven't even said that. There has been no talk that there is and no talk that there isn't. They're just saying it is what it is, but there's no definitive no and no definitive yes.
Yeah, the best we've got so far is Oscar Isaac saying that, I only signed on for this show.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is we know these Marvel actors lie like rugs.
Yes.
No, I know.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, if it is only one more episode, I don't believe, this is me speaking, not everybody else speaking, this is me speaking, I don't believe they can give me an ending that I will be satisfied with.
Have they yet?
Right, like I feel like you have never been
you're
satisfied.
never satisfied.
So like you cannot be the benchmark for this.
Yeah, when was the last?
So here's the question. Here's the question.
Nothing.
Does anybody disagree with me on that one?
He wants excellence. It's okay.
Depending on I have a couple theories on how next week's episode could go.
I think we all do.
We all do, yeah.
Okay, Kang the Conqueror comes down.
Oh Lord!
Okay, we are going to hit some like outlandish theories today because I think that's kind of where we're going today.
My thing is, Tyler and I talked a little bit about this today. Is I don't know how this is going to end,
I don't either.
And I personally love the fact that I don't know how this is going.
And this
to
is
end.
the first time this has been this way.
Yeah, I am completely. I don't know how this is going to end.
Isn't that wild?
I love not knowing.
WandaVision, all these shows, you kind of figured what was going to happen.
Yeah,
at least you got close.
This episode, you knew.
We know there's going to be something with Emmy. We know there's going to be a fight with Harrow. The only reason we know that is because the fight with Harrow is teased in the trailer, and we also know that at one point in time, the Great Pyramid of Giza is going to shoot out purple light. Beyond that, I have no clue what's going to happen, and I really am excited by that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The anticipation for nothing because we don't know.
So
It's like Christmas on crack.
So let's hit this. Let's hit this first before we go on. What was your thoughts on this episode? What parts, and we are going to be all over the board today because that's kind of what I wanted to do on this.
Yeah.
What parts either kicked you in the jaw or did you love on this? What worked? What do you think didn't work? Let's start with you, Tyler.
I mean, did we need an origin story?
No.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
No.
Yes.
No. I didn't
Oh,
want
look,
it.
50-50.
I
It's
mean,
Team Kevin and Courtney against Team Dub and Tyler.
no. I mean, I could go either way with that whole aspect of it. The fact that we got an origin story, but I mean, the way the episode turned out, it was still just beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure we'll go over a lot more. Just what I loved about the episode was the fact that Marvel yet again was able to make me have to halt everything I was doing and regather myself because I was so invested in what was going on that I did not see this coming as far as just what I was going to feel out of a TV show.
Yeah.
And especially, and some people were like, wow, yeah, it was great. It was emotional and stuff. It's like, I have trouble kind of pulling myself back because I do have 2 young boys and stuff. So it's kind of hard to detach. Like I see their faces and stuff like this, because I get really invested in shows and movies, And so like it hit home. I was like, oh God, don't do this to me.
I got to say this, me and Tyler were the first ones in this group to finish watching it. So we're just like sitting consoling
because the
each
rest
other.
of us had to work.
Well, I worked too.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
But we literally had to like talk and console each other off the ledge. It was. I don't know that I'm comfortable with a feeling that crisp and sharp.
Yeah, and then
it's amazing that they did it.
Everybody had already got their feelings out.
It was still raw, man.
Yeah.
But no, and the only thing I didn't really like about this one is just if you're gonna give us Jake, give us Jake.
Yeah,
like,
that's yes.
And I have I have a feeling we did get him, but we didn't
kinda.
Yeah, I think we got it.
We're gonna get him more.
They were gonna I think
wanted
he's
them to flat out
going
be like,
to be identified.
I'm Jake. Nice to meet you. I mean, just give us.
Yeah.
Jake.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
agree with Tyler. I do believe he was there. He was. We got him.
He
He's just
Courtney
not been
hit the Jake thing
yet.
When did we see Jake?
When I think, and you guys can disagree with me all you want, but what I think
I disagree.
We saw Jake. And Tyler has another theory where we may have seen him too, and I'll let him tell that. But I think when Mark grabs the glass pyramid off of Harrow's desk, and we don't know if he's going to try to stab himself or he's going to try to stab Harrow. But if you watch, Oscar Isaac slips, because we've talked about how he does this. He physically changes himself with each persona he is.
He was all busted up.
Yeah, he had a broken nose.
Which goes in line with the comics. But I mean, his vocal styling's changed. He got that very New York-ish tinge to everything again. And we know Mark is from Chicago, so he doesn't have that voice. So I think that was Jake. And they were pulling him back because he's not, he never responds to himself as Mark or Steven in that scene, in that moment. I think it's Jake. I just don't think he's been introduced proper yet. I just think we've seen him. And there were a lot of, in my opinion, we saw quite a few taxi cabs in this episode throughout. And as I think we've said before, but if we haven't, Jake is a taxi driver in the comic book. But Tyler also has another theory, which
Tyler.
I like as well.
Yeah, because I think we got Jake twice physically, but not, like I said, not just blatantly. In the office there, he's all busted up. And then another shot when he's back in that office, he's not all busted up. So it's kind of like,
his nose,
what was that?
The nose Band-Aid.
And it went away. It went away eventually,
Which Jake wears in the comics.
Yeah.
Because he gets his nose busted at one point in time.
Also, I think when taking it back to, what was it, episode 3, when we began the episode, he was sitting there in Egypt. He had a bottle of liquor, and everything. In this, also, we see Mark standing across from his mother's Shiva, swigging out of a flask. And I have a feeling that may have been Jake. It just seems like anytime we get alcohol, we might get Jake type of thing, because he's a dude that's just rough and tumble. He's the dark side. Jake, I think, was there when the beating happened. I don't think that was Steven that took the beating.
Yeah.
I think that's the first definite time you've seen Jake.
And that would kind of go, like, if he was the one taking the beatings from his mom, that would kind of be like, I wouldn't be surprised. He'd just be standing across the street, just looking at his dad, like, yeah, and just swigs and just kind of walked away, like, I ain't doing that,
If you notice during that scene too, Steven's like, I've never seen this before, and then all of a sudden he blanks out. So he's not Mark at this point. He blanks out, and then that's when he takes the beating.
Well, that's when they shut the door. That's when they shut the door.
When they shut the door, yeah.
You're not meant to see this.
Thank God they shut the door.
My gosh!
I'm really glad it was.
I could not have watched.
Yeah,
we
I
talked
think
about
we're all
this.
in agreement. I'm so glad that happened off camera.
But we talked about this
I wouldn't have been able to
episode 1. They have done so much with not showing us stuff. They've done it over and over and over again. Hey, we're going to show you, but we're not going to show you one bit. That's a beautiful way of filmmaking. It really is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that scene right there, I think he went into Jake at that point.
Yeah. And I mean, the other thing that we could also say that leads us to know that there's a third personality in there is he goes up 3 flights. And I mean, I don't know if the house really has 3 flights or what, but Steven goes up 3 separate flights. As Mark says, don't do that, don't do that, do that. And we gets to the very top one. That's when we see young Mark go into Steven. And see, the thing is, he goes into Steven to get to handle his mother pounding on the door. And then she comes in the door. And like Tyler and yes, I think that's when he shifts into Jake. But we don't see it. We don't see it because Steven was created so that Mark didn't have to handle, Steven was created so Mark's world was perfect, that he had a wonderful mother who loved him and all this kind of stuff. So we know that Steven wasn't taking the beatings because he didn't know about them.
On the poster, it says Stephen Grant has no fear on the movie poster for Tomb.
But he doesn't know about the beatings. So that goes in line with Tyler's thoughts because we know Mark wasn't taking it, and we know Steven wasn't because Steven doesn't remember.
So this is a fresh take for me. Then I think that every time that is blanked out and you haven't seen what's gone on TV, it's always been Jake every single time, including in the second episode.
It's happened.
He's the dark one.
We thought that was.
He's the brutal one.
Mark.
Yeah. Well,
the bloody scarab in his hand and everything.
Remember in the second. Was it Cairo's the second or third episode? Whatever the Cairo thing is. When he is beating up on the 3 guys, he blanks out and he comes back and Mark goes, Steven, what did you do? And Steven says, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
So, I mean, somebody beat the hell out of those guys.
That was our first inkling.
I'm going to get a guitar.
Showing up.
Yeah, I mean, somebody beat the snot out of those guys, but it wasn't Mark because Mark doesn't remember doing it, and Steven said he didn't do it, and we haven't known Steven to lie.
Yeah,
this entire time. So if he says he didn't do it, he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So it goes to point the fact that anytime any massive violence needs to be done, Jake is probably the one that's doing it.
Yep.
So let's get back to that in 1 sec, but I want to shift gears because I do want to talk about the Jake Steven thing in just a second. But we have to enter onto the boat. And I got to say this, visually,
so rad.
Beautiful was that?
So rad. And did everybody catch the Black Panther nod?
Yep.
No.
She talks about different existences and everybody's afterlife is different.
Oh yeah,
because there's different planes, and she mentions the astral plane and the ancestral plane. Beautiful.
Ancestral plane,
which is yep, which is from Black Panther, which I thought was a neat little nod.
I think that the hippopotamus god is a little bit shoehorned to be friendly and kind of take the levity out.
Thank God she's there too.
You needed her, but at the same time it felt forced.
Yeah.
It felt forced, but it needed to be there.
I do have one thing to pick about that.
Fire away.
And it's not her or the show, it's the fans. Because I've seen so many fans go, I'm so glad to finally see her join the Marvel Universe. She is a newly created character for this TV show. She is not in the comic book.
There's a whole lot of people that like to claim they have knowledge that don't.
Yeah, I'm glad that everybody loves her.
But she doesn't exist.
She's fun. But she brand new.
And this is the last time we'll ever see her.
She was fun.
Yeah, likely she's not going to be in the next.
Her little
episode.
ears would twitch.
I love the fact
it was a shoehorn.
that it's been so many years since anybody has come to like the Egyptian afterlife that she has notes. It's been too long.
So now
flipping the cue cards was great.
Or is it that people are entombed that would normally take care of the greetings and all that stuff? She's the only one there to do all that.
Normally, it's Anubis who ferries you to the
so maybe she's
scales of judgment.
New at this too. You know, she's like, "Oh man, I haven't done this."
She's a new.
Everybody's
Anubis.
been put away, so now I'm doing it again. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because Anubis might be a statue at this point.
Yeah. Well, if I'm right, yeah, he is.
So maybe now. Let me hit this for a second before we start. We're gonna start talking about our wild theories in just a minute. I want to hit this. Because it's something we were discussing in our little group, and I don't think we came to a consensus with the two hearts that are being balanced. When Steven gets thrown overboard, and then now it's balanced, and now the evil is gone. Does that mean Steven was the evil one? And he wasn't, because he's the good guy.
No.
And if Jake's still in there, why isn't there still chaos? These are things that keep me up at night. Go ahead, Kevin.
Well, it's because he had two hearts there. If Jake is still there, then Jake is still in his one heart. And so they pulled out two. You got to get rid of one. You have two different personalities that are actively speaking out. That was one of the things about the reason why he didn't want Steven to know. Is because now, as soon as Steven gets sentience, if you will, now he's going to be fighting Mark this entire time. Now, Jake, at this point, doesn't really have sentience. So he's not his own little heart. And so if Jake was there, then he had to pull out all three. And that's the way it makes sense to me.
You're saying, like, so essentially the one that was left behind had good and evil in it, while the other one just had good, and that screwed it up?
It's all messing up. He wasn't...
But what we could also say is that the heart that is judged by Osiris's scales, by the scales of truth, doesn't mean you're good.
Yeah.
It means your heart is pure. And it's judged against the feather of truth. So it's not necessarily that Mark was the good one and Steven was the bad one. It's just that the way that I look at it is there is a mix of good and evil in both of them.
And
the mix is different between each person. And so when one is gone, the scales will balance. So if Mark had been the one to fall, it still would have balanced.
Yeah, it would have been balanced. I agree.
Yeah. That's just how I'm reading it based on the way I know that the scales work in ancient myths.
What if it's more of a Mark is real and Steven's not type of thing then?
And see, that's another thing too, because Mark, we know, is the owner of the body. So it is him. It is Mark Spector. Yes, there is Stephen Grant. There might be Jake Lockley, but it's Mark Spector. Mark is the only person, the only real person there. So his heart is the only heart that should be judged on the scales.
That I'll buy. The rest of it, I don't know. I want to buy into this, and I don't feel like that's the explanation. I think that they deserve. I think we deserve a better explanation than that.
Same way we didn't go through time when they were hurting the skies back.
Exactly. That's just. I knew when Steven fell that the scales were going to balance.
You just deal with it.
Yeah, you just knew it was going to happen. So yeah.
Okay, now with that being said, I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll probably be all scattered when we get back. I got to go do something real quick, and then we're going to go get into our bizarre freaking theories, and we have some.
So excited!
What? You guys moved. Okay, so now let's talk bizarre
He likes to
theories.
keep you on your toes.
I do. So now,
can we just mention how cool this scene is, though?
That last scene
where he becomes Moon Knight at the feet of Khonshu's statue, and then Khonshu's standing there.
He says
it's freaking rad, dude.
It really is
done
cool.
Now.
You are my.
It's a really cool shot.
Okay, so
really cool shot.
Now you guys seem like you're smarter than me, so you have better theories than me. But
I'm smarter than you.
I want to throw my cool little theory out.
Here it comes.
Oh, here we go.
Here it comes.
We're going on. We're going
is this
on.
The one I have to shoot.
This one,
we're gonna go on.
Dear listeners, we're gonna start calling these spaghetti theories, and they're just because
we
all have.
Yeah.
We're throwing everything at the wall. So here is Dub's spaghetti theory.
Okay, and I think this is one of the few ways that it will make me happy. Not if it's a TV series. If this happens, I will literally walk away smiling from this episode. I think that Harrow is actually Mark's brother, the one that died, and Khonshu, raised him up, and so because he was an avatar for Khonshu. And when they stepped on the bird, that released Khonshu on the bird scale or the bird's skull. He released Khonshu, and he's. I guess you would say that Khonshu saved his brother, and if there's something about Khonshu that will always wants to go. Oh, you don't want to be my avatar anymore? Okay, well I'm going to go for somebody that you love now. And then when he went for somebody he loves. Then he went to Mark, and then I'm gonna get Layla next because that's Khonshu's a butt. Yes.
I'm gonna shoot a hole in this. Just one.
Is this one that I get to fight right back in? Okay.
Well, I'm gonna just shoot a tiny little hole in it.
Okay.
First off, Harrow's too old to be Mark's brother, but that's okay.
I have a shield on that. I have a shield on that.
You have no. It's not a shield.
I have a shield on this.
It's just a weird hot take that doesn't make any sense. But that's okay.
Oh,
but no, what I'm going to throw into it. What I'm going to throw into it is this. In the comics, the reason he thinks this, listeners, is in the comics. In one run, Mark's brother becomes Shadow Knight, who is Moon Knight's mortal enemy. The word mortal enemy, Dub, means he hates his brother. So Harrow wouldn't give a damn if Khonshu says, I'm going to take someone you love.
We've also realized that Marvel will change things. Okay, so I want to speak to the older thing.
You're my shield.
My shield. I have this theory that once you put
Which is dumb.
No, it's not. This is factual. Once you put on once you're the avatar, you don't age. See, because from what's always been understood is wait.
Why does Harrow look so old then?
Because Harrow isn't the avatar anymore.
But he
gave it up and he kept going.
He gave it up, started aging.
He started aging.
Yeah.
So still wouldn't make any sense because he would still be younger.
No.
Like, are you saying he rapidly ages?
I'm saying.
Does he rapidly age?
I'm just saying there's
Mark's not aging.
Mark's not aging.
No, I'm literally trying to understand this. Is this what you're
what
you're saying?
Shazam was aged
is a DC
up.
character.
But I'm just saying there's precedent for it. It's not like they don't this isn't a copy of Batman. Shazam, there's precedence for it. Was aged up to be at his prime, and I think that's what he did. Well, anyway,
it's a comic.
It's a comic. So shut up.
What was that?
No, I want to hit where
that's his.
I want to
so
hit
frustrated
something
with Courtney right now. Noise.
Yes, because you're not even listening
periodically.
Okay, so here's the deal.
I literally am.
So here's the deal with why I think he's not aging. It seems, or they let us believe that Layla was a young girl when her father died. So therefore, if they're the same age now, it would make sense that he wasn't aging.
If Mark
I didn't get that she was a young girl when he died.
That's just always the impression that I always felt like you see the scarf that was
definitely
made from a young girl. That. The scarf was definitely made from a young girl.
He says made by perhaps made by his daughter. He never said young girl.
No, but I mean, I feel like
but
it just
could be a possibility.
It wasn't said one way or the other, but that's the impression that I always felt. So that's my hot take. If that's how you're
reading it, then I'll take it because I didn't get it that way, but that doesn't mean I'm right. So maybe she was.
I have a throw all that take on that.
Okay, Fire. What's your hot take on that?
Not on your theory. I have a different take. That Khonshu was responsible for the death of his brother.
Because he's a jerk, like I said in episode 1.
In order to break Mark, because that's what he did in the comic at some point.
Yeah, I think
he does. Rumor. We've seen he has control over things like elements. When Haru, you heard loud crashing and stuff, and he got scared, and Haru was like, "Don't worry, he can't really do anything here except for a cup blow the wind or something like that." And you saw a bunch of wind come through and this and that outside Haru's little weird facility. So he might have control over elements. It started raining pretty quick, just out of nowhere when they were going to that cave. If Khonshu decided this is how I'm going to start breaking him, it would kind of make sense, and that's why we see the foreshadowing of the skull on the ground. Khonshu does that, and as we go along, he finally, gains control over Mark, and I have a feeling that's where we're going to start leading to maybe the next episode. We're going to do the plot line there that from the comics that they're pulling from, where we get that scene where Mark figures it out, and Mark, Steven, Jake all kind of unanimously decide that Khonshu has to go. And you get this scene where he crushes Khonshu's head, and they say, "We are Moon Knight."
Now we are Moon Knight, and we never needed you.
That would be a satisfying end, but I don't feel like they don't have enough time to pull it off.
And in the comics, he retains the power.
Yeah,
he keeps the powers of Moon Knight after he crushes Khonshu's skull.
I have a feeling
I just feel like they don't have the time to do it.
May play out. Khonshu's been it's the Agatha all along kind of theory. Khonshu's been responsible for a lot of everything that Mark's gone through that's been misery, and that's kind of where we're going to end up next episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I kind of agree. I'm just going to quickly say that because I don't have anything.
Oh, you don't have
wild and crazy.
I was making you go last. I thought you had something hot.
Yeah. No, I
blow a hole in yours though.
I kind of go with.
He didn't.
With Tyler, to be honest. I think the skull, because it's obviously that's Khonshu's skull. I mean, when he steps on it, it's pretty obvious. And I think it was to show the audience that Khonshu's always been in Mark's life and always been puppet mastering and pulling the strings. So I kind of lean toward what Tyler is saying. And I haven't heard Kevin's theory, so I might lean with Kevin's theory too. I literally do not have a Sketty theory today, guys.
And then they crush his skull, and you're going to hear cut. That's a wrap, and the production crew is going to start breaking everything down. And if that happens,
I will turn off my TV.
Because the whole thing's a TV production.
I was so mad. Oh my gosh!
And then She-Hulk shows up.
Oh,
I do think this is going to tie into
something else.
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah,
probably. I got something.
Okay, fire away, Kevin.
What is?
Fire away,
all
Kevin.
right. So you guys know Ramatut. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Oh, stop.
Mephisto, yeah.
Mephisto.
That'll buy.
Why haven't we seen anybody from the MCU? And just hear me out for a second. We've seen little things here, we've seen signs here, but nobody. We haven't seen anybody. Even whenever they turn the entire stars, nobody's looking for them. What if, and this would play right into Multiverse of Madness, what if during the last fight or close to the last fight, who shows up? Baron Mordo.
Or Doctor Strange.
Or Doctor Strange or Baron Mordo. Somebody's from a different universe this is not Earth 616. This is Earth 523 or whatever they want to do. And that's what actually leads us into now the multiverse of madness. They go and they fight and everything, and then all of a sudden now, either they're transported or some way, shape, or form. This whole movie was based to show you, yes, Moon Knight, his whole history, but also to lead into, hey, Baron Mordo's a good guy. Or this. So that's where I'm kind of thinking. There has to be a way this is going into multiverse of madness.
I won't be satisfied.
This should be 616.
I think it's gonna. I think they said it's whatever happens at the end, whether it be that purple power lights shooting out of the Giza pyramid, and I think because it's never been addressed where this is in the timeline, but I think it's happening either right at the same time as Hawkeye or right after Hawkeye. And the only reason I'm saying right that is because we see Rogers the musical in the first episode, and we know we had that in Hawkeye. So I think because we know that WandaVision is happening and Wanda cracked the multiverse. It's a combination. I think it's going to be, Tyler and I talked a little bit about this, a combination of all of these things. What Wanda did, what Doctor Strange does in
Spider-Man.
That's where
Spider-Man.
That's where I was kind of thinking about.
And what Loki did, and what this is. Well, I mean, what this is, whatever they do in this, these 4 events, I think, are what causes multiverse of madness to happen, because we know it's already started.
It's about a 2-year gap
already.
It's about a 2-year time period. WandaVision is supposed to be like 2023. This is supposed to be maybe real late 2024, beginning of 2025. So it's like a year and a half or so within each other.
Boom, 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 boom.
And
I think somebody from Multiverse of Madness is going to show up in this last episode, whether it be Doctor Strange or America Chavez. Somebody, we're getting somebody.
I
thought it was going to be a Defender, but I don't think it is.
Yeah, not necessarily Baron Mordo, but somebody from there. I was just thinking it'd be cool, Baron Mordo, because you haven't seen him as a good guy yet. But
Amit is dark magic.
I definitely agree
we may
with you,
be killing Amit. Amit's a god. That's substantial.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
God that uses dark magic and whatnot.
I don't know if it's going to be Gore the God Killer, but maybe it is going to be Gore the God Killer. I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
And another reason I think it's going to be somebody from Multiverse of Madness is because of the timing of the whole thing.
Yep.
The last episode of Moon Knight happens 2 days before Multiverse of Madness opens.
So next week we're going to be busy.
So I mean, it's almost an instantaneous flow in. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe Kevin's right. Maybe it's going to be Baron Mordo. Maybe it's going to be America Chavez. Maybe I think it's going to be somebody.
I do.
From Multiverse of Madness. And it's going to be a quickie, but I think that's it. And I don't believe this is going to be the last of Moon Knight in the Marvel universe.
No, I don't think so either.
I hope not.
I think as soon as it's over, they have some little intern that's working late on Tuesday night. Say, hey, quick, put this in real quick. And it says Moonlight will return. Well, there's only one person that knows about it. And that's
we'll find out. We'll find out if it's got a season 2 when Layla ends up being possessed with Khonshu's powers, and we get female.
You will not let that.
We get Moon Maiden.
Let's hit this for 1 second. Now we've talked about the TV theory, and I will be so upset. I don't know that I would not break my TV if this happens. However, there is an exception. There's something that I mentioned to y'all earlier. What I would like to see, if it is a TV show, what if it is a TV show and then the director turns around and it's Agatha and it's one of Wanda's TV shows? Then I'm happy. All is forgiven.
That'd be wild.
I would think that would be cool. Unfortunately, though, every TV show in WandaVision had Wanda in it. So, I mean, there's no
commercials.
There's no Wanda. Yeah, but the commercials related to something that happened to Wanda. They all related to Wanda in some aspect. Like
I can reach and find something, I'm sure, but I won't.
Well, and I'm all for more Agatha anytime because Agatha's amazing. So I'm all for more Agatha. Don't don't think we're gonna get her, but
no, I think we're
okay.
done forever, unfortunately.
The camera pans down, you see a director chair, and who turns around? Mephisto.
Yes!
Finally.
Yes!
You finally get him.
Then I'm happy. And a Ghost Rider and a motorcycle. Okay. Wow, I just shut up a room. And with that being said, that was an episode. We're going to have so much more to talk about next week.
Yeah, it's going to be big next week, buddy.
Check out the website, www.iheartgeekshow.com. Use Conway Paid X for it. Go to the Facebook. Talk to us. Go to the Instagram. Go to the Twitter.
TikTok. All of that social media.
Check out our short little videos we're putting up. We're putting them like 3 times a week. Just I'm asking a question. We're all just answering. It's a lot of fun. Share those. They're like 3 minutes, so it's fun to share and doesn't take up a lot of your day. So until next time, I'm Dub. I'm here with Courtney. I'm here with Tyler. We're here with Kevin. Keep on geeking on, guys. We'll see you next week.
You have been listening to the latest episode of the iHeart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.